Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Vitamin C podcast. This is episode 34. And Casey, you want to give us this timestamp?
Sure, it is currently October 15th. It is a Friday.
You might
Um,
notice that we're all on Discord.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a shitty situation. We've been
Haha!
around people who have the vid,
The
so we have
Veed.
to be careful.
Sucks
Uh,
to be you.
Living
yeah,
Covida
grand,
Loca.
loving it. Great, my cat's stuck in my room. But
I'm a
anyway,
free elf. You can't chain me.
Can't trade me down.
so today's episode is brought to you by Discord because that's what we're using. So not like sponsor,
Not
or anything, just,
legitimately, but yeah.
no, but
What do you mean we're not sponsored? What the fuck am I doing this for?
Right? Where's my money?
we have Ethan here again to join us
Hello.
on our speaking expeditions.
Mm-hmm. If you hear
So-
background noise, sorry, that is my computer. I can't really silence the fan in the hard drive bay.
That's fine. That's fine. I guess I'll start by saying the COVID tests are fucking evil.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, I
I,
hated it.
this is my third one I've gotten done, and I thought that maybe it would be easier since I get to do it. So I'm like,
No.
okay, maybe it won't be as bad. And I shove that thing up there, and I'm still like,
When I had mine, it wasn't actually too bad. I had to get tested because right after I got I think it was my first dose of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I lost my sense of taste and smell, and I I'm like, why the fuck did I do this? So we weren't sure if it was like I got COVID like right after, because you're still susceptible
Mhm.
Yeah.
after the first one. So we had to go check, see if I had gotten COVID. And I didn't get my sense of taste or smell back for like 2 weeks, but they swabbed me, and it wasn't as bad as like it could have been, I think, but it still wasn't very fun.
Oh, I can't, man.
That shit was just irritating. Like, my eye was twitching when I did. I was like, ugh.
My eye twitches. My body like tries to reject it. I kind of like.
He accidentally
I, like,
pulled it out midway, like at like
Ugh.
8 seconds, and I'm like, don't put it back.
I think part of the thing for me is like my nasal cavity got fucked up a couple years ago. It got crushed, and so like
Oh.
I don't have as much sensation in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess that
So
makes
like
sense. Yeah, but
it's not as big of a deal for me.
It's so.
It's just so annoying. It's like having a feather shoved up your nose, and you got to keep it there, and you can't sneeze.
Yeah, and I mean to go with the whole like losing taste and smell shit. Oh my god, I can't. When I had COVID, because like I had it, I got the shot, and now I may or may not have it now. But
But you don't have the symptoms anymore.
no, not really. The most I might have is a cough, and that could just be attributed to allergies too.
Yeah, because
know.
it's the mold of the leaves
But-
mine are acting up too.
Regardless, it's like when you lose taste and smell. Like I as a person identify a lot of things by smell. Like smell is one of my stronger senses. So when I completely lost that shit, and I took a can of Vicks Vapo Rub and I brought it all the way up to my nose and fucking snorted that shit,
Yeah.
nothing. It
For
was
me,
terrifying.
Jesus.
the thing that pointed out to me was coffee, and then it was chili powder. Like my
Jeez.
wife was cooking with chili powder, and I'm like, or it was, yeah, she was cooking with garlic and chili powder, and I got we buy like stupid, snacks and soda all the time just to try it. Like if there's like one of my favorite things to do is go to the grocery store, and like if they have like a stupid chip flavor, I get it every time just to try it. Like they've got Dorito flavored Lay's chips for some reason.
Those are just Doritos, but all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Cold Ranch Dorito flavored Lay's chips. I bought them immediately. They were okay.
That's just Doritos.
It's just a
Yeah,
Dorito on a potato.
Well, no,
chip.
because a Dorito is a corn chip. Lay's is a potato chip. It changes nothing.
Yeah, but when you're
Um,
drowning it in Cool Ranch, it's
Yeah.
basically the
It's
same thing.
basically
But
the same.
so we had bought like a Coke that had like coffee in it.
Oh, I
the
heard of
coffee
commercials
Coke,
for
yeah.
that.
they
Yeah.
they taste fine. Like they're not great, but like you always start before you taste something. Like habit is to smell it first, and so I
Yeah.
smelled it, and I'm like, oh, I don't smell anything, and
Mm.
so didn't think about it too much. And then Sarah started cooking a couple hours later, and she was cooking with garlic, and like I knew that she was cooking with garlic. I'm like, I don't smell anything, but I'm in the living room, so let me go see what's going on.
Mm.
Maybe she hasn't started cooking. And like I walk into the kitchen, like she's full on in the middle of it. Like garlic is going in the pan and all the spices are going behind him. Like I
This is
don't smell
prime
any of this.
time.
This is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and got COVID test, and I said I didn't have it. It said I didn't. I had the antibodies regular with the first vaccine, but
Mm.
not to have had it. So I guess the vaccine can have some weird side effects sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing with me, the worst part for me was I went downstairs, dinner was ready, and it was a nice steak dinner. And I fucking love a good steak dinner.
Mm.
But so when I couldn't taste anything, and I was
Oof.
just sitting there just kind of chewing through the motions, I was just like
Like,
it was so
see, I
bad.
was horrified to catch COVID, not because of getting sick, not even for the risk of death, just straight up not being able to taste or smell. I cannot, like, as funny as it is, oh, I'm fat, I like food, but like one of my main sources of enjoyment when nothing else is good is food.
Hmm.
Food is
Yeah.
like always like there. Like you
The
can
ultimate
always
comfort.
it is. It is
Absolutely.
just the safe spot. It is the perfect remedy. And if I can't have food, like if I get the flu and I'm like throwing up or whatever, I can't have food. I get sad, dude. I get straight up sad because food just makes me sick to my stomach, and it's like, no, you took this away. It's
The
just
one
it's
thing I
awful.
had.
What
Exactly.
the fuck is the point?
What's the point?
Oh God. Yeah, no, it's hell. And I'm really hoping that my results come in by tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
because I was supposed to go to a Greek food festival this weekend,
That might not happen.
and I really don't want to miss those euros, man. Like I've
Yeah,
I
been
mean,
hankering for
if
one
it
of those.
helps, you can. I mean, there's souvlaki boys in town here. That's pretty good.
that's in
Best euros I've
Lancaster.
had here.
That's all the way up there, though.
I know, but I mean,
There's
if
gonna
you
be a
miss the
whole
festival,
festival at like a Greek church, and
Mm.
like it's like it's just good, man. And
Yeah.
our one friend who is Greek, she's like super excited because she's always like, guys, we can go get Greek food.
right?
See,
But
I'm not a big fan of Greek food, so I didn't want to cramp y'all's style, but that does suck if you like Greek food and you can't have it, because that's not something that you just pick up on the daily too.
bro,
Right.
like lamb with tzatziki is like one of my favorite things now. Like I ever since I had it, like I think the last time we went to the Greek food bazaar was like my first time actually having like lamb and tzatziki like at the
Hmm.
same time. Oh my fucking
They're a good
god.
combo, yeah. They go
Hmm.
hand in hand. No doubt about that.
I love that shit. So good.
Yeah.
Like
God.
I'm a meat guy. I'm a meat. There's still some meats that I haven't had. Like I don't think I've actually had like duck
Duck is
What?
straight
very
up.
good. Duck
I
is
don't think
very
You haven't
good.
had duck?
I don't think I've had straight up duck. I don't think I've had straight up if I did have duck, it was like just kind of like
It was
thrown into
part of
something.
something else, yeah. Okay.
But I
Hmm.
haven't had like straight up duck. I haven't had straight up rabbit. I haven't had like I don't know.
Dude, I can't remember the
Venison I've
last time I
had.
had a rabbit. I've always
I
wanted to
had
have
rabbit's
rabbit.
very good too. I've eaten a lot of fucking um, weird food. So like
Hmm.
that kind of shit to me is always fun. I like to try weird stuff.
Yeah. Anytime there's like a meat, like a different meat, I'm always like right there because like I love meat.
Mm.
Like
Hmm.
if there was anyone in this group right now that's like certified carnivore, it's probably me.
Probably, yeah. You or
But like
Dave.
yeah,
Dave lives
you're
off
Dave.
of fucking meat alone. Like his the way his body works is like a goddamn factory of magic for meat.
I
Because
used to be that way until Sarah, until
yeah,
my wife went vegetarian.
he can eat the same fucking thing. He can eat steak or like the same cut of beef for like an eon before getting tired of it.
Right. Like I'm sure I wouldn't mind chowing down on some vegetarian food. Like I'm sure a lot of it's really good.
If it's
It's
cooked
just
Some of it,
right.
like
yeah.
I don't think I could change the lifestyle.
No,
I think I'm
no.
too ingrained with meat right now that
Right.
I'm too much of an
I just
omnivore to be
couldn't pass
honest.
up.
I can't not have both.
I'll tell you what happened. What'll happen? I'll go to try and do the vegetarian lifestyle. I'll get one whiff of meat and I'll just be like, "All right, it's over now. I can't."
There it goes.
Um, yeah. One of the best things Sarah has ever made was like stuffed pumpkin.
Ooh.
Or stuffed squash. Like she took
Oh.
a acorn squash and she roasted it in the oven first, and then she filled it with like a mushroom blend, cranberries, like walnuts, quinoa, and like a bunch of other and like cheese, like Gruyere cheese, like a salty cheese. And
Ooh.
then she roasted that for another like 45 minutes. And oh my
Mm.
God, I could have sat there and eaten my weight in it. It was so fucking good. It was
Damn.
so fucking good.
That sounds really good.
It
Uh,
was.
See, the only part that turns me off is squash because I don't know why I don't like squash.
well, it's an acquired taste kind of
I think
thing.
it's I don't know. All the squash I've ever had was kind of like sweet, and
Like
I
I
think
can
that's what
fuck up
turns me
zucchini.
away. Oh, I like
Zucchini I can
zucchini.
fuck up.
Zucchini, dude, zucchini bread's dope as shit.
Ooh.
Or like if you fry vegetables, that shit's delicious as well.
Yeah. I don't
I
like to fry vegetables. I like to roast vegetables.
Ooh, roasted
roast
vegetables
vegetables
gotta
are
be good.
good too.
Roasting
Those
vegetables is the best way to do a vegetable.
I've just been like tainted by the eons of fast food and fried and deep battered, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's ruined me. And now that I'm eating more healthy, um I'm sticking to more vegetables and meats, but then I'm seeing one thing that's fried or has breading on it, and I just fucking
Yeah.
melt.
I think I do. Don't get me wrong. I can fuck up some fast food any day of the week.
Hmm.
But like, I think I'm at a point in my life where like, if I didn't have it, it wouldn't really
You'd
phase me
probably have a
that
lot
much.
less stomach issues, I can guarantee you that.
Probably. That's probably true.
Because you always
I
seem to have that going.
I don't eat a lot of fast food just in general, mostly because with Sarah being vegetarian, she can't fucking eat it
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
for the most part. Like there's very few options that she gets that way.
Yeah.
Um, but growing up on a farm, like, you know, everything was crazy fresh, and so it wasn't until I was like 18, 19 years old that I had to deal with eating
Takeout or
not fresh
something.
food and like more and yeah, the difficulty of like takeout as a
Yeah.
thing because like
Hmm.
I didn't my family didn't do takeout. You can't do takeout when you live fucking 20 miles out of a town that doesn't have
Hmm.
any restaurants.
Hmm.
Right, right.
And then college is like, oh, I can just buy pre-made greasy food
Hmm.
and like have it delivered to me. Fuck
Hmm.
yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah. And so
Absolutely.
like for 2 years or until Sarah, my wife and I until we moved out of our first like college dorm, we ate a lot of fast food and then we started eating healthy again.
Yeah.
And now I
Because like
can't
at
go
the end of the
back.
day, fast food,
It's not
it's shit.
natural
Like
shit.
no,
It's not at
it
all
is
natural.
absolute garbage. However, the idea of fast food, fucking
Is amazing.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like
it's god tier. It's because it's something that humans made. They took what they had. They took the vegetables, they took the meats, they took all that shit, and they just said, you know what? Let's add a bunch of the fats, the preservatives, all that shit, some salt, some sugar. Let's just fuck this thing up until it's addictive, until it's
Well,
basically
I
drugs.
I truly believe that there's no such thing as bad food. Like all food has caloric value, and so therefore,
mhm.
Even
no,
processed.
yeah, processed. Well, even fast food. Like no food, in my opinion, is truly bad.
Mm.
Um,
fair, I guess.
I guess
Everything any pork
moderation.
has to
yeah,
worm.
it's all about proportion. It's all about moderation. You just
Yeah.
have to be, smart about it.
It just comes down to like if you can in a day, if like what you're supposed to intake can be uh is all packed into this literal one bite size of a hamburger or whatever, and you only get one bite of that hamburger, and it's pretty much 3 days worth of your nutrition value. That's where the issue lies.
Well, I think unfortunately,
That's an exaggeration, but
well, yeah, of course. Um, like usually where the fast food is going too far is usually in your sodium intake. Like I'll agree
Oh
with
yeah.
you that like fast
Mhm.
food sodium intake is bad. Like for the most part, it's crazy. 'Cause I'm hypertensive or pre-hypertensive, so like I gotta be super careful with salt. But do you know what a calorie is based on? Like how we determined what a calorie is? Because it's the funniest shit in the world to me.
I can't say I do.
A
Nope.
calorie is the amount of energy it takes to make like a certain amount of water go up a degree. You know what I'm saying?
It's water weight.
Not what? No, not water weight. It's how much energy it takes for like an amount of water. Like if you had a cup of water, I don't know the
Mm-hmm.
exact. I don't know the exact like amount, but it's an amount of water to go up 1 degree in temperature.
Mm.
That's it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And so like it's based on this like crazy shit, and so when people talk about calories, like yeah, it's recommend the 2,000 calorie recommendation is also for very specific people,
Yeah, you
and
have to take into account your body and size and how it works.
Mhm.
exactly, like there's so many things that go into how that works, and so yeah, fast food has a lot of calories, but if you're out there fucking doing work, sometimes you need more than 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta work
I
that
think
shit.
mine is I'm supposed to have an intake of 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Um
And that's standard for people who,
yeah.
like us, work with their bodies.
I mean before that before I started eating healthier I actually was I was intaking around like 6 or 7,000, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Um and
Hmm.
that's just from fast food or just eating like shit in general, just because of like you can have a little bit of this, but in the end it's how much is in that,
Mm-hmm.
and how much you eat of that. May not seem like a lot, but that's how they kind of get you with that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
mean that makes sense, yeah.
yeah. I hate that it's like, oh, if you're 260 pounds and this tall, then you have to do this, or you're overweight. It's like, no, that's not how that works. You have to have, okay, how big are you? How tall are you? But then you also have to take in, okay, three more variables. So like, how do you eat? How much do you eat?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you work out in a day, whether that's physical activity or not? Like, how much do you burn daily? And then you also have to take in, how does your body work? Do you have a fast metabolism, a slow metabolism? Can you eat this, or is this give you stomach problems? Like, what, like, you need to take in like 12 fucking variables that everybody's just like, what are you talking about? What
Mm-hmm.
do you mean? There's
Yeah.
a system. Here's a chart. It's like, no, that's not how it works. That's what they did in school. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I mean like my metabolism's still pretty damn good. The most weight I've gained is probably just from
Beer.
drinking.
Yeah.
Um
Mine's
Little
catching
beer.
up to me.
yeah, no, I've definitely there's definitely a little bit of slowage there because I mean I got like a little I
Mm-hmm.
got what I call the soft layer.
Mm.
Um I got that working out right
It's
now
got the
and
foam.
I got the foam. I got some padding
Some
and
soundproofing.
that's one of the reasons we're going to the gym.
Soundproofing.
But like yeah, I do believe that there is a bunch of variables to this kind of thing and just saying like, "Oh, you're this tall, you should be this weight."
It's so
Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
dumb.
like yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Oh yeah, the whole idea of BMI is fucked up too. Like there's a ton of shit wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like exact things with it, but like I know that like BMI is based on some bullshit.
Yeah.
I think BMI is supposed to work in a population, not for singular people.
Yeah.
I think.
That's probably where they came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Probably.
say. I would say another thing that kind of aggravates me is, like, I know there's different diets and whatever, and like you can do the one that works for you, and if it works for you, that's great. Like, I'm not gonna judge there, but people tend to, instead of look and try different diets and figure out what's actually gonna work for them, they force themselves to, whether it's like a mental state, instability, or whether it's like physical draining. They choose a diet that outputs the fastest result. But the saddest part is, like the keto diet, right? If you go full ass keto, what ends up happening is you get a lot of fatigue, you feel like shit, you're probably going to be very irritable, and what ends up happening is you lose a lot of weight fast, but it's not like the stored weight that's going to be left over either. That shit takes forever to burn off if you do that. But then there's this part that the second something happens, whether you buckle, or whether something happens where you're like, okay, I'm out with friends, I want to have a little bit, it's not a lot, it's whatever, and the problem with it, you gain all that fucking weight back with one slip up. Like, it's not worth going the fastest route if you just basically restart the second you make one mistake.
Absolutely.
Because I was trying that for the hardest time. I was just losing. I was just
I've never understood the keto diet.
It's not. I don't think it's healthy for you either, because I've seen people, their hair kind of like not dies, but it starts to get ratty and like losing its fullness and shit and thickness.
It's sheen.
And then they basically starve themselves because, oh, I ate this, and they don't pay attention to what they eat and how much it actually, like, it's I don't know. It's a lot of the times diets, why people hate diets is they're like, well, nobody ever sticks to it, nobody ever does it, and it's it's just a big waste of time. It's like, no, if you actually look at what you're doing and say, hey, I want results that aren't immediate, because the truth is, a diet shouldn't be fast results. It should never have been fast results. That is unhealthy. It's not how your body works. Your body wants to retain weight. Your body wants to keep stored energy, and it will forever try to have you do that, because that's naturally how humans work. Like if you were out in the wild, you'd be out surviving, and you'd need that drive every day to get food.
I mean, like, my wife lost 60 pounds over the course of like many months, but she did lose 60 pounds. Like, she's doing really good, and like I'm really happy for her, but like it took months.
Yeah. As long as you're happy with waiting, as long as you can have the patience, pay attention, and do what you need to do, and not get overworked up about how you're looking or whatever, and like, you can do it. It's completely manageable in a healthy way. But I don't know whether it's the media or where it started, but the huge health trends over the years and all these other things have just ruined actual exercise, dieting, and eating right, and it's fucking sad to watch. I mean, I'm not a professional at all, but like, that's just common sense to look, if you take a step back and look at it all.
Like, I know that I'll never understand, because I basically had like easy mode for my entire life.
This man was Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
I'm not. I can't say much. I'm not that different.
God damn it!
Like, my metabolism has been pretty fucking great for like
skinny
my
sons of
entire
bitches.
life. So like, I can't even begin to think how difficult that kind of shit can be with losing, gaining, all that kind of shit. But I do know that, like, anytime I see anyone trying to do anything, like, it's miserable. Like, all this shit that's available nowadays just makes people miserable. And, like, I'm just like, damn.
Well, you struggle to put on weight.
If you're fucked, you're just kind of fucked.
You struggle to put on weight, so you kind of have something, it's not like you're completely god tier, like, because you do have moments where if you don't work out or you don't maintain or eat certain things, you do get skinnier, I mean, you're not anorexic or anything, which is
No.
good, but you
I'm
know,
healthy skinny.
yeah, you're healthy skinny, but it's like the opposite. It's like instead of actually that's a pain in the ass because your body is supposed to want to gain and store. Your body won't store because of the fucking metabolism.
You know, my body gets food
Yeah.
and it's immediately like, go, 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 get this shit, go, go, go.
Yeah, I'm not that different, unfortunately, and it sucks.
God,
I've been
I
I've been
wish I could
150
have.
since I was 18.
See, I wouldn't mind that shit because I could just shovel shit in, and I'd still want to eat healthy because there's
Right.
because depending on what you put in is still what you
It's
get
gonna
out,
make you
whether
feel
you
good or bad. Yeah.
yeah, which is why like if Casey dropped all fast food, all sugary drinks, period, like he would just probably just be god tier.
How dare
Like
you? I'm not that bad. Looks
I'm
at cold Arby's
like,
food and cans on my desk right now.
but I'm saying like because you literally had like you always have like a stomach issue, and I'm like it's probably because of what you
Okay.
eat.
Yes, but come on now. We've also been having a
Bruh.
lot of stresses lately.
Yeah, but
It's
that
not
doesn't mean we
just
gotta
food.
buckle. We can
No,
cook up
absolutely
a
not.
meal prep and plan ahead so we don't when we
God, I
do.
hate
No.
meal prep.
I
I would
hate it
love-
too.
I hate it.
I want to die doing it. I hate it.
That's the thing. Like, I want to cook. It's just like the idea
Yeah.
of trying to get started is
It's
like
such
keeping
a
me back.
pain in the dick.
I love cooking. I just hate meal prep.
I hate cooking. I'd rather meal prep. Like I'd rather cut vegetables, throw them in containers, and have everything ready to go. But I hate the act of fucking cooking.
Alright, tell
I
you
feel
what.
like I'm dog shit. I have my grandmother's cooking abilities.
Then I have an idea, Cody. I have an idea. We're working on getting like ourselves a place, right? We're working on all that.
Sure.
You worry about food prep. I'll worry about the actual cooking part.
There you go.
That way we
There
can,
you go.
find a nice even ground between two
Now
variables.
I'm not. I can cook up meat just fine. Like I can cook steaks, ground beef, all that fine. The only parts I fuck up is when it's not. If it's not meat, I can't fucking cook it. Like
I like to
that's
bake bread.
basically what it is.
That's what I like.
I can't fucking do that either.
Oh my god.
That's next level shit.
There's a period of my life that I just call the Jello period,
What?
where there would be nights. Because remember when I was living at that house by the creek?
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
nice creep.
I had like a time in my life where I would just randomly be like up late at night, and I would just go,
Cup of
you know
Jell-O.
what? I could make Jello right now,
What the fuck?
and then I would
You-
just
you
go.
know-
Wait,
You know
wait,
what's
no, I
funny about
remember
that?
this. I remember this. You made
Yeah.
bowls of Jello.
Yeah.
What? Oh my god, I remember that.
My wife does that with pudding. Like every once in a while, she'll just randomly make pudding for herself.
Oh
It's
my
like mad
God.
respect because like it's not hard to do, and like I don't care. It's just like every once in a while we'll be like sitting on the couch like I'm gonna make pudding. Do you want any? I'm like no. And she's like cool, more for me. I'm like all right.
No, like I
Whatever.
would just make
love
like
you.
bowls and bowls of fucking Jello.
Yeah,
like,
every week I came over, it would get lower, and then when it was empty, I'd come over the next week, and it's a different color of Jello, but it's still Jello. It's fucking like a
Outstanding.
whole ass cooking bowl of Jello. Just on his
I
countertop.
had a problem for a little bit. I'm
For
not gonna lie.
real.
Don't get me wrong. I still see the boxes of Jello like in the pantry here, and I'm
Mhm.
like, ugh.
I had a problem with the cup Jello. Like when I was first doing, well, when I was on keto, I did the sugar-free Jello, and as bad as it was, I just would fucking go through it because one of the shittier parts of keto is everything you eat feels like you didn't even fucking eat.
Right.
It sucked. So, but if I had to recommend a diet, if it works for you, I would say at least low carb. That's, don't starve yourself, but don't eat like shit and you'll be fine.
Right.
Dude, fiber, oh my god, dude, vegetables were the deadliest thing when I
could
started
use
the
some
diet.
of that. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, dude, I ate vegetables right before. Even when I was eating like shit, I ate vegetables and meat side by side usually. I didn't have a lack of fiber, but just because of all the crap that I ate over the years, the second you go to like a lower carb diet, your body's like, "Hey, the colon exists. we need to fix this. It's like grab the security deposit. Let's put some money into this bitch or something. Like it just
Time to
cleans house.
remind you have a
Get out of
colon.
here.
It's like the great fucking flood just goes through your bowels
Oh my
if you
god.
start eating vegetables on like one of those diets, and for 2 weeks at least, you will just be running to the bathroom, which is
Ugh.
good, because then after you'll never be constipated and shit. But like right now, I ate like shit this week because of unplanned events and everything,
Right.
and I'm constipated as fuck right now. Like the
I
second you eat like shit, you
Yeah,
just
I guess this is a good.
flips.
This is a good like a topic. Veggies. No,
Mhm.
now most people are talking about fruit. Fruit's good. You know, everyone loves
It's got a lot of
fucking
sugar
fruit.
though.
Now, what
Okay,
would
no, don't say that shit. Fruit having a lot of
It
sugar, they're
does.
natural sugars. They're
Yeah,
not bad for
they
you.
are good for you, but I can't have it with this diet.
Well, that
Okay.
is not my point. My point is, what's everyone's favorite veggie? Discuss.
Uh,
Mm,
honestly, I don't have a favorite because I'll go fucking hard on just about any vegetable.
Well,
that's
same here,
that's
but like
usually
you gotta
true.
have one where like you'll see like a veggie tray and you'll immediately just like
Green bell peppers.
go.
See, I don't really go for raw veggies so much as that, like I said, I roast my veggies. That's the best way. You know, you put a little olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper on the veggies, you throw them in the
Mhm.
oven, fucking chef's kiss.
So you would
Um,
prefer a stuffed pepper to like a raw bell pepper sliced up?
um,
Because I'm not a fan of cooked vegetables as
I
much.
should
I
I
fucking
like
prefer
love
raw
bell
I,
pepper.
vegetables.
I like the orange bell peppers raw. I'm
Okay.
not crazy about stuffed peppers just because I'm not crazy about the texture.
Mhm.
I know I'm throwing a lot of fucking, I love fucking cooked vegetables and I'm throwing all these,
Yeah.
Except
but
for bell peppers.
Fuck
yeah.
those bell
So
peppers.
like I think the best vegetable honestly is roasted broccoli,
Ooh.
or roasted Brussels sprouts.
I do like
Oh,
roasted broccoli.
sprouts. Oh god, I haven't had a good sprouts in
So
Dude,
forever.
when you get your test, come to my house because we make them all the time and they're my favorite thing.
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
very
we're about to
indifferent with
go have some
sprouts.
veggie dinner.
They're kind of like
You,
I have to be in
you,
like a Popeye mood. Like I don't know I don't know if you understand what I mean by that.
yeah,
It's
no, I do.
okay.
You need to try my wife's Brussels sprouts because they're
Cuz
fantastic.
I've
Oh, that
never
sounds
liked Brussels
fantastic.
sprouts, so
They're absolutely fantastic.
then I got to try them.
I mean, really any vegetable,
Mhm.
most vegetables I'm down to clown with.
I'm not a fan of
Mhm.
like a lot of pickled
Oh, I
vegetables.
fucking love
I
pickles,
mean,
bro.
unless yeah,
I'll fuck them
pickles,
up.
of course, pickles themselves, god
Hmm.
god tier. But like a lot of pickled things, people have a lot of obsession. I think there's only a few things I like pickled, and I can only remember two. Pickled bologna, because I'm
Oh
fucking
God.
part Michigander, sorry. And pickles.
Eating
Um,
pickled bologna is like eating a science specimen.
What?
yeah,
So
that's
hateful.
something else, my guy. Um,
Hateful.
we'll pickle vegetables, but it's usually what's called a quick pickle. It's not
A pickle?
yeah,
What?
I make the exact same joke
You
to Sarah
dip
every
it
time. A
in
quickle.
vinegar and you're done.
Yeah, kind of. You so like we do a lot of a lot of Asian food because
Hmm.
Hmm.
Asian food really lends itself towards
Yeah.
vegetarianism.
Right.
And so like one of the things that we do is called a Buddha bowl. We just call
Ooh.
because there's a restaurant that calls it that.
I think
And
I
what
know
it
what you're
is,
talking about.
yeah, it's like a quinoa base,
Yeah.
and then we put avocado and marinated tofu
Mm.
and roasted purple sweet potatoes
Hmm.
and roasted
Ooh.
broccoli on it. And then Sarah likes to do a pickled carrot, so she chops them up really into little thin strips, and then she puts them, yeah, in it's a salt, sugar, white vinegar, and something else pickle, and they
Mm.
sit for like you do it in the morning, like before you go to work. She makes it in the
Hmm.
morning, and then that night they're ready. So like most pickle,
Wow.
like when people usually think of pickles, they're things that they're sitting in the jar for maybe 6 months before you eat them. But no, like ours are like a 6 hour thing.
Wow.
Oh.
See, that's another danger zone for me because I just like vinegar.
Oh
Ooh.
I
God.
fucking
I
love
don't.
vinegar.
I hate
I wonder why you
vinegar
have gut
usually.
issues, dude. Fuck me.
I'm pretty.
I have.
What?
Hey, I don't. I'm not like swigging it. Like,
You
Right.
might as well be though.
Dude, that
no,
makes
but I
my
love
that
vinegar.
I can feel like the heartburn starting just thinking about
I will
that.
say the last time I had pickled bologna, it burned the shit out of my tongue, like just because of how acidic it was.
Yeah.
So I don't
And
know.
that's why we do the quick pickling because like you get
Hmm.
the flavor from it, but it
But
doesn't
it
like
doesn't have the
make you,
effects of
yeah,
everything.
it doesn't want to make you want to die.
Mm.
It's just like vinegar and like pickles, man. You get one of them bastards out of a jar, you get a nice crunch out of it. Oh,
See,
See, that I don't go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. See, I like the only time I like eating a raw pickle is like if I have, cause I'm always gonna slap that shit on a burger or a sandwich. But
oh yeah.
if I'm eating a raw pickle, I do what my mom does, and I have to have cottage cheese with it, and I just
What
Ugh,
the
use that
fuck?
shit. Yeah, it's so fucking good. It like balances the
fuck.
vinegary taste.
You're disgusting.
No, it balances it out. I'm sorry.
I'm judging your mom now, and I like your mom.
Okay, hang
Um,
on. I'm being called. Continue this conversation.
God damn
yeah.
it.
For me, like a dill pickle is not something that I will ever seek
Mhm.
out, like ever.
Mhm.
My older sister, however, she drinks the pickle juice and like she could destroy a jar of them in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But like for me, like a dill pickle is not something I ever seek out. But when you get like, that little dill pickle spear with your sandwich at some
Mm,
restaurants,
that's nice.
I'll fucking go to town.
Oh fuck
And then I'll
yeah.
think like, why don't I eat more pickles? And then I think about it and like, because I don't want to buy a jar. Because if I buy a jar of pickles, it's
It's
gonna
just
sit in
gonna
the
sit
fridge
there,
for
yeah.
8 years.
See, I like that because you can. What I like to do is, it was weird when I was growing up and I saw people doing that instead of just putting the pickles cut up on the burger. I was like, what the
Hmm.
fuck? I guess.
You're just
Yeah,
yummying
yeah, they're
down on
just
a pickle.
So I'll take a bite of the pickle and then I'll take a bite of the burger and I'll just be like, yeah, this is right.
It is right. Like that's the best way to do it. But
Yeah.
continue.
I was gonna say, the whole thing. Now I gotta ask, what part was gross to you? Was it just cottage cheese? 'Cause my uncle thinks cottage cheese is fucking disgusting. He's
Cottage
like,
cheese is fucking
but
disgusting.
if you think
It's
about
awful.
it, cheese in
I
general is fucking disgusting because
Well,
it's
no, it's
literally
not.
aged milk.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's
It's
pasture. It's take it like. Well, I guess cottage cheese probably is pasteurized
it's
too.
yeah, it's
But
still
like it's a
pasteurized.
consistency thing. It's a consistency
Mm,
thing because I don't like a lot of like I
you
like a
don't like
blue cheese,
mushy, and I
but I'm
hate
not
blue cheese.
but but I'm not going out of my way to like eat, you know,
Yeah,
cottage cheese is like
it's something
undone.
you have to have a taste
It's
for.
unfinished cheese. Like
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The texture is awful. The
Mm.
flavor is fine. I don't care about the flavor. It's just it's
It's
an
just the
awful texture.
texture for you.
It's
See,
awful.
for me, I can eat cottage cheese alone, but not a lot of it. But if I
Ugh.
have cottage cheese with something, whether that's burgers, like like burgers, hot dogs, or if I have it, with a pickle spear, I can just go to town on cottage cheese because cottage cheese for me, um, I think it's just something I grew up with. But you know what's
Hmm.
fucking disgusting to me is when
What's
people
disgusting?
put what is it? It's like cottage cheese and a fucking fruit. I think it's peaches or something,
Yeah,
or they
peaches
put
and
or
cottage cheese is
honey,
a is
or
a
they put
crazy
honey
popular
on
thing.
it, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like,
I
what the
can't say
fuck is
anything. I
wrong with
have
you?
I have my own cottage cheese sin, and it's a Pennsylvania Dutch thing that my mom does. I've already
What
explained
is
it.
it? I don't,
Uh,
I don't remember.
Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned. But
Hallowed be thy
it's
name.
something that my mother used to eat when she was younger. It's something that her and her mom used to eat.
Oh, that.
It's a piece of bread. You
Mm,
butter it. You pour molasses on it, and you throw some
ugh,
cottage cheese on that bitch.
no.
You guys are gross.
That's what I'm. No, look.
Don't blame
Okay,
me. Like
sorry.
I
Out of all of those different combinations with cottage cheese, the pickle and cottage cheese is the most fucking normal. I'm
No,
what?
sorry.
No, it
It
is
I
ha-
not.
think
it has to
so.
be.
Here's the thing: is like for me, the peach thing is more normal than the pickle thing.
Ah, that's so
I can see the peach
gross.
thing being normal.
Why would
Cause
you
well,
mix cheese with with
Are you
that.
are you kidding me, dude?
It's
Cheese
why
with fruit is like top tier shit. Like cheddar cheese
that's
with a
different.
Fuji apple.
No, no,
No,
no,
it's
no,
not.
no, no, no.
Oh,
No, it's
shit.
not.
Cottage cheese is its own fucking
That's
thing.
the
Its
thing that
own
Remy ate.
monster.
It is. It is. It's its
own
own
monster.
beast. It
Yeah.
has to be eaten. Like, I can't imagine. I'm sorry. I can't do sweet with cottage cheese. It just is a huge fucking turnoff. Like, it makes me
Yeah.
go. Ugh. It
Haven't you
gives me a
seen
chill.
Ratatouille, dude? When Remy eats the cheese and the strawberry or whatever at the same time.
Yeah,
You
that's
know that
different.
shit's
That's a
good.
whole ass chunk of cheese. That's different. But I'm talking about cottage cheese that has a specific texture, a specific like kind of like an undertone taste to it. Like it's a completely different sensation. Like
Get it,
cottage
like,
cheese
cottage-
is almost like it's the perfect between milk and cheese. And I think that I just would never put it with other cheeses. I
It does
don't
kind of seem like the second evolution of milk.
Yeah, like I'm never gonna put it on a charcuterie board ever. Like it's never gonna be in like choose your cheese. It's never gonna be part of the cheese family. I'm sorry. It's not. It's like kind of like what Ethan said. It's not completely there, but I think that's not a bad thing. But it's its own thing.
Cottage cheese used in the right way is.
Yeah.
I mean,
fine.
maybe
No,
I just
you guys are
haven't
wrong.
tried it enough. I don't. No.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Cottage cheese is bad.
Fuck you guys.
You know, it's one of the saddest things to me that I realized once I moved out here is like
Mhm.
there's no true like Montana food culture.
I don't
Like-
even know what that
Mhm.
would be other than like
Right.
a rustic like stew or potatoes.
Yeah, I mean like we ate a lot of meat, a lot of soup in the winter and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But like there's no really
There's no
inherent
places.
like Michigan and Wisconsin, like they've got kind of like
Yeah.
the Swedish like the Nordic foods, and like
Mhm.
Pennsylvania obviously has the Pennsylvania Dutch and the
Mhm.
Amish, but Montana just doesn't have that. So like I don't like when people talk about like, oh yeah, here's this thing I grew up eating that's like this crazy thing that no one else eats. Like the
Mhm.
only thing I can think of from Montana would be Rocky Mountain oysters,
Mm.
and
Oh,
even
damn.
that's not like
I was gonna
Montana
say that.
specific.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be
oysters
like anywhere
sound-
by the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Would have Rocky Mountain oyster.
Do you know what a Rocky Mountain oyster is?
I
No.
Okay.
I assume it's an
So,
oyster.
no, it's
No?
not.
No.
It has nothing to do with clams or oysters, because I guess clams and oysters are different. A Rocky Mountain oyster is a bull testicle.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
No. I know
Yeah.
people
I
who have
remember.
eaten those, but never me.
They're fine. Yeah, I mean they're
Not
fine.
for me.
The town I grew up in, the next like actual city near it had what's called the Montana the Testicle Festival, the Testy Fest.
Jesus.
I was gonna say Testy Festy.
Yeah, the
Don't-
Testy Fest.
They have a
And that
penis parade in Japan.
Yeah,
That's different.
Voice crack.
but I mean it's got an awful texture, but like it tastes like meat. It's fine.
Mm.
But like that's not something that like grandma cooks for you.
No.
Give me some bull balls, Granny.
Here you go, honey. Here's some bull nuts for you. Oh,
Yeah,
thanks, Grandma.
yeah. That's not
My
Scrapple. That's
favorite.
not like lutefisk or whatever.
It's
like
that.
grandma's.
It's the Ratatouille scene where he goes back to his childhood, but instead of Ratatouille, it's just a bowl full of nuts. It's a bowl full of balls.
Yeah, nah. It doesn't work like that.
Back in
Damn.
my day, I used to eat testicles,
He became the world-renowned food
and
critic.
I'm sure they're fine. Like I'm sure they taste fine. It's just like
Yeah, it's fine.
the
Better be
idea is
seasoned.
just.
Better be salty. Oh no.
Eh,
No.
nah. But yeah, there's like because it's like a huge
Mhm.
thing. Like, are you man enough to eat balls? And like, because like it plays into the inherent homophobia of
Yeah.
the West like crazy.
Just the goofy
Um,
shit.
But a lot of bikers show up for it, and like, for real, it's like Sturgis 2.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm a man. I can eat balls.
Pretty much, yeah.
Balls
You've
in my
you've just encapsulated 70% of the people who show up. It's really stupid.
God.
But like, Because I can understand to a point, like, as a man, like, oh God, it's balls, and like
Like,
the inherent
yeah.
twinge of like guilt or like pain when someone bites
Mhm.
into one. Because they pop, I won't lie to you, they pop a little on the
See,
first, like a hot dog in a casing.
it feels like
Oh,
like you're eating
okay.
a tumor to me. Like that's
I
how I
mean,
imagine it. Like it's
don't, yeah,
ugh.
oof, that's the worst thing. That's the worst way I've ever heard it described.
Well,
But like,
that's what it feels like when
yeah,
you're talking
no,
about it.
I understand, but like, every guy has that twinge when they watch another guy get kicked in the dick,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it's kind of that. There's a little bit of that to it, but once you get over that, you have that twinge. It's like, okay, I'm just eating something, and it was always kind of funny because when I was a kid, I remember Fear Factor being a show, and like
yeah,
Oh yeah, Fear
bull
Factor. Damn.
testicles appeared a lot on that
Yeah,
show,
I
and there
yeah.
were
remember.
lots of guys who like wouldn't eat it. I'm like, dude,
It's
it's
just
not that it's
yeah.
not that bad. In fact,
Eat a ball, bitch.
it's probably the best tasting thing you could probably get on Fear Factor. Like if Joe Rogan is
Yeah.
forcing you to eat something, it might as well be a testicle.
So I would say I've seen them put like fucking scorpions on that thing. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Also, scorpions don't taste bad; they're just crunchy.
No thanks. Just
Dude, I told you, I've eaten all sorts of
no.
crazy weird shit. Like
Ugh,
scorpions, not even like top 10.
I like to
God.
eat weird shit though.
Um, I think in the top 10, I think porcupine is up there. I think,
Oh
I
shit.
heard that.
yeah, porcupine's good.
What was it? It was something's heart was really good. I can't remember if it was.
Caribou?
No,
I don't know.
I can't remember if it was. I don't think it was a camel heart. It was another type of heart.
I've never eaten camel, so I can't say.
I don't think it was a camel.
I'm also not in the habit of eating hearts when I can just like chicken hearts are popular.
Mhm.
Mm,
But like yeah, so like I've eaten like rattlesnake, I've eaten porcupine, I've eaten bear, I've eaten moose, like
mm.
alligator.
Yeah, you ate the bear when it came into your kitchen, right? You just
No, I
popped your fist through its chest and tore out its heart and Kali mobbed that shit.
we just went over this. I don't eat hearts, but like
No,
um
you take a bite, just nibble.
no, the 13-year-old child did not Kali Ma the bear.
Damn.
Damn.
In fact, it no. Um Bear can be rank, dude. It can be
Ugh,
bad. It can
ew.
be bad. It can be musky.
You have to cook the fat properly, don't you? I think I've seen a few videos where they're like, oh,
I
they
mean,
put the fat in a pot and cook it up.
well, like you can do that with any. You can make tallow with any animal. Like it. I
Yeah.
mean, it is not bear exclusive. Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of most game needs to be just prepared correctly because it can get really musky if done wrong.
Yeah, I've
Mm,
heard that.
The worst one, and I was talking about this to some other coworkers of ours recently. The
mhm.
worst animal and the
Oh,
most notorious animal with that is antelope, which you guys
Mm.
you don't have antelope out here, right?
No, I don't think I.
there's
The
one
No.
legendary creature
Yeah,
that no one has
one
seen.
aren't the
legendary
an,
antelope.
aren't the antelope the shit from like the wildlife
That's
Animal
some
Planet?
Savannah shit, Cody.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking. I was like, what the fuck? Like that's
They're
lion bait.
they're deer adjacent.
Hmm.
Mm,
They're deer adjacent.
I love me
But
some
they
deer.
so they live in herds. Deer typically are, small herds to solitary, but
Mm-hmm.
antelope live in herds. And the whole thing with antelope is if you're hunting for antelope, you have to kill the animal in one shot. And that's
Hmm.
because if you
Jesus.
don't, it'll bolt and it'll send adrenaline through the entire body and it
Ooh.
literally ruins the meat. You cannot if you could
Wow.
eat adrenaline laced antelope meat, you are the
Mm-hmm.
most vile, disgusting human being I've ever met in my
Is
life.
it just it's gross or
It's
is it
awful. It's disgusting.
it
It's not
really
like
is just
poisonous or anything.
that?
It won't kill you. It just tastes god awful.
See, now
Um,
I
Ugh.
don't understand. Here's the question for,
mhm,
when you're hunting another animal, like let's
mhm,
say just a deer straight up,
mhm,
and you have to go track it, and it gets,
mhm,
adrenaline, it takes off, it tries to get
mhm.
away. Why doesn't that ruin the meat?
I mean, it happens with all animals. Adrenaline in the animal's body is bad for all animals. Like if you spook the deer before you shoot
Mm-hmm.
it, it's not great. Like
Okay.
it can a little bit ruin the meat. It's
Okay.
it can cause a change. But there's some, I don't know what it is about antelope. I never looked into it because I didn't care. I didn't hunt antelope myself.
Yeah.
But
They
it
probably
is
just
it
have a higher output, maybe.
yeah, because
Generally,
they are very much a, you know how like cheetahs can go like crazy fast,
they
but
have
only for
to. They
like
have
a
to
little bit.
fucking book
Yeah.
it to
Yeah,
escape their
and
predators.
that's what the animal is doing. Is it's firing on all cylinders
Yeah.
immediately, and if you don't kill it on the first shot,
You might as well just
um,
fuck it.
yeah, you might as well just. I mean, you if you shoot the animal,
Mm-hmm.
you should kill the
Yeah.
animal.
Yeah. Humanely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bigger issue is, like I said, they live in herds. Like if you shoot one, you're spooking all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Mhm.
fail that first shot, you're not getting an antelope that you can eat that day.
Damn.
No. If you don't
Um,
kill it in one shot, you might as well just head home, pack up your shit.
well, you might as well
Yeah.
go dress down the animal because you can get a little bit of money for like the pelt, and um you can sell the meat to like, at least where I was, you could sell it to like a butcher and they would make dog food out of it.
Mm.
Hmm.
So you could get a pittance. Like you wouldn't even, so you have to buy the tag. You probably wouldn't make back what you paid for the tag for, because antelope are a special tag.
Jeez.
Right.
They're limited because they aren't as populous as deer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you basically lost $125 or something like
Great.
that. Yeah, it's not a cheap mistake.
No.
Um,
But
but yeah,
also, they're not
yeah.
local, so it'd be more expensive just to go fucking hunting for them in general.
They are in Montana. They're local. I mean, like there's
Oh
multiple
yeah, in
herds in
Montana.
like where I was. It'd probably be a couple hour drive.
Mm.
Hmm.
Because they're more on the plains rather than the forests where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Because they like the open area, but like we weren't that far. Like we could have, my father, if he had wanted to take an antelope, he probably could have done it within a couple hours of our house, so it wasn't too
Mm.
bad.
Okay.
But I always consider that quote unquote specialty hunting, because like you've got to be more careful. It's like bow hunting. Like
Yeah.
you're setting a parameter for yourself that if you fuck it up, then like
You
you've
might as
wasted
well
either.
just go home that day.
Yeah, you've either wasted a day or you've wasted an animal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
honestly. So, yeah,
Ugh.
there's a little bit of Western tip for you. If you ever hunt antelope, be a good shot or don't hunt antelope.
Yeah.
Kill or go home.
Pretty much, nut up or shut
Shit.
up, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I knew kids growing up who took an antelope at 14, because that's like or 13. I can't remember how young you can be and get your first license. It might be as young as 12 or 13.
Like a
Jeez.
coming of age kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah. But I mean, those kids were like kids who like were going out with their dads and practicing shooting from like crazy young,
Mm-hmm.
or were going with their dads and were at least at the hunt super young. My dad took me out a couple of times, but I missed. I only ever actually went hunting to with a license to kill one time, and I missed
Damn.
from like 30 yards, like not that far away. I missed like 4 times and the deer just walked away. And my dad's like, you know what? I'll just go get mine. Don't worry about it.
I'd
And
have
then
laughed my ass off if it just kind of like shook its head and walked away.
I mean,
It
it might
just
as well have.
stared you
It
down,
it,
just not, just like, no.
it should have just it should have flipped me off and walked away. But I mean, I was like 12. I mean, what do you want from me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not the
yeah,
worst
I
thing.
I'll never claim to be like this big Montana hunter or anything like that, but I've gone hunting with my dad and I've helped him track down deer and elk. So like,
Mhm.
I've played Cabela's big game hunt a few times. I think
oh
I know
yeah,
what
for
I'm
sure,
doing.
I think
for sure.
I think I've only gone hunting once. When I was younger, I got my the little safety course thing, and
Hmm.
the ability to go out hunting with somebody, and we went out and we found nothing, but
Hmm.
I fired. That was the only time I've ever fired a gun, because even though like we didn't catch shit or find shit, he said, "All right, well, you still wanna like see how it feels to fire one off," and it was a 22 gauge. I think it was. I forget what it's called. I don't pay attention to guns anymore.
I don't
But
think a 22 gauge is a
it
real thing.
was. It was. No, it
32nd
is.
gauge.
A
Is it?
22 gauge is like a gopher hunting. Like a
Yeah.
22 is a gopher hunting gun.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't know what the fuck we were at there. I don't think that like I was gonna get shit. Like I think it was just
Oh,
for
okay.
the sake of, hey, come and watch and learn and whatever.
Okay, and you're gonna carry a gun. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like you're
See,
not hunting anything more than
I'm
10
not
pounds with
hunting.
a
It
22.
ain't
Okay.
me. Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
for the
Okay.
experience. And so I fired it into the ground and had pretty decent kickback because I was pretty small, but like it was so fucking just it was horrible. It was dumb. I've never gone hunting after because even if I saw a deer, like even if I had like a proper gun and I learned and everything, which there's a lot of like rednecks in PA and then there's fake rednecks in PA as well, but there's plenty of people who hunt legitimately. And I don't know. I just wouldn't. I don't know. I understand the necessity for it, but me myself, I don't think I could do it.
Right.
I'll skin a deer.
Mhm.
I've helped skin a deer. I've helped cook up a deer. All that shit. But like me personally, pulling the trigger on one, it just ain't my style.
Yeah. For me personally, I have helped harvest farm animals, and that
Breaks
as
your
any
heart.
normal person, it bothered me at first,
Yeah.
and eventually you get to a point where you realize, okay, this animal is dying for at least a reason, and
Let's hope.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was for our farm, and so I knew for a fact like the animal had
Yeah.
lived a good life, and
It's better
that's
than
how
guessing.
yeah. Um, but I never felt a need to hunt. I was never the kid who took his 22 out and shot gophers. I shot cans. Like I don't believe in um ending a life without purpose.
Yeah, like don't no hunting for sport and shit.
Yeah,
That shit's stupid.
I own 2 guns. I'm very, not to be political on your podcast, but like I'm pro gun control.
Politics.
But like that's all I'll say on that, and we don't have to get into it, but like I definitely see the
God
validity in
damn,
like
no.
people who hunt for themselves, and I also
Mm-hmm.
understand hunting for sport. It's just not my personal bag,
Yeah.
um but I'll fight anyone who says that just because I haven't killed a deer with a gun, that I'm not like, I don't even want to say that I'm not a redneck, because I don't want to say that I'm a redneck. I'm
It's-
white trash, but I'm not a
Yeah.
redneck.
White trash. That's fair.
It's welcome to PA. You fit right in.
Welcome to PA.
Shit. No, I think the closest I've ever come to hunting, and this is horrible, was a few months back. I think it was last year actually. There was a mouse in the kitchen, stuck on one of them traps, like the glue traps, and it was just freaking out. And I'm like, I gotta put it down. I'm like I don't like putting mice down. Like I would just rather not even put traps out, and just say, like, I don't know. I would just have like alternative things like catching them and then set it like, I don't know, just getting them the fuck away from the house. But so I'm like thinking, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do this. No, it's fine. So what my mom usually does, or anybody else in the house, we'll go outside, we'll put them in a bag, go outside, and we have to smash them with a brick. And it's awful. And I didn't want to do that. And I felt really bad. And it's the middle of the fucking night. So I'm like, I'm not going outside and smashing a mouse's skull in with a brick. So
Right.
I said, oh, I have my BB gun here. I know it has a lot of pressure. It's a mouse. I should be able to penetrate the skull. I
Didn't.
It was like a goddamn, like, it was like a movie scene where the guy, he has to put an animal down, but he fucks up and he keeps shooting and it won't fucking die, and then he ends up just smashing its head in anyways. And
Jesus
it was,
Christ.
and I came back up, and I was streaming that night. Like, I was streaming, and I said, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. And I come back, and you can hear it in my voice, just like I'm dead inside. I just feel like I think I'm done for tonight, guys. I was just
It's game over.
I'm gonna call it here. And it's just horrible, and I felt so fucking bad because I'm like, that poor fucking mouse didn't deserve to get shot like 3 fucking times in the head. Like, God damn it. So much for a
No.
mercy killing. I thought that was merciful, and I didn't know it's a metal fucking BB, and we're not talking about a plastic BB, and it's a pump, like you would shoot squirrels with it type thing. So I'm like, oh, this has to kill. This should kill.
Well,
My
what you see
problem
killing
was
squirrels and shit is usually a pellet gun. It's not
Not a
necessarily
BB gun.
no, but I don't know. It was like fucking late as shit too, so I probably wasn't thinking, but
Is that like the
was
same
awful.
mouse that you found in your VR headset?
No, that was a different dude. That
He just
motherfucker.
wanted a game.
Yo, let me tell you about 3 mice.
Oh no!
Right, there's the mice
Three
that
blind mice?
right. No, the mouse that you already know about, the mouse that I failed to put down correctly. There are 2 other mice that hold legend in this house. So there was a
Legend.
mouse called Stove Mouse.
Stove
This
mouse.
motherfucker, this mongoloid of a mouse, this guy survived mouse traps for weeks. He not only like avoided mouse traps, but he tricked other mice into falling into those traps. He was so goddamn evil. And he came out from the stove, like from the top of the stove. Somehow he'd crawl through it and up it and whatever and come out on the top. And that's why we named him Stove Mouse. Well, one day he bit a little more off than he could chew. Him and another mouse got stuck. And before we, it was like pretty, it was a while. A few hours went by, and then we woke up in the morning, whatever, and we found the other mouse there dead, and we found an arm. This motherfucker
Christ.
escaped by gnawing his arm off,
Yeah.
and we never saw him again.
You're
We
gonna
never
see a
saw
mouse
him.
with like a Metal Gear Solid
We were
5 thread
exactly.
prosthetic arm.
We were like, he's gonna kill us in our fucking sleep. He's gonna kill us, and we don't know. We think he ended up dying because of blood loss. Because
You
how the
hope.
fuck would a mouse repair that?
He's coming
But-
back, dude. He's
But
coming for
it's
you.
been so long that I don't think Stove Mouse is alive anymore. But his kids, I don't doubt they know the legend of Stove Mouse. But Stove Mouse was a
Childish-
badass,
childish
hardcore
Stove Mouse.
motherfucker. And then the
Son of Stove Mouse.
right, but the last mouse is the VR headset mouse, and the joke in my server with my friends
Gamer mouse.
is that it haunts my VR headset, and that's why I don't play VR anymore. But essentially, so I had the glue trap mouse in the corner of my room because there's a hole that those fuckers chewed in the wall, and then they scurry throughout the walls and everything. Anyways, this guy got caught apparently one day, and he managed to take the entire trap, hop himself all the way over to my VR headset that was sitting on the ground, and he chewed the lanyard off of one of the controllers to try to get himself loose, and then he gave up at some point and decided to die under my fucking headset. And I have a picture of it, and it's horrible and haunting to this day. But like the mice that come every year, there's always, you always got a bug bomb, you always got a mouse trap, you always got to do whatever. That's part of PA because the houses are old and everything. I swear to God, they're genetically breeding these mice. There is a program, like a super mouse program, that we don't know about, down at like the park or something, or in the backwoods, that every year they just come out with the new soldiers, the new Bucky. Because Stove Mouse was fucking hard, dude.
There is actually a thing, so like lab mice, so mice and rats don't live more than like a year or two, because if they did, like the rat population in like New York would be a nightmare, right?
It
Right.
kind of is. They're a foot long.
Right, but like worse.
Yeah.
Because like if they lived 6 years, they would be like
Fuck
the
that.
population would explode.
Mhm.
So like there's a community of people who own rats.
Mhm.
Found out, like, I guess recently, that lab rats live like 10 years because scientists
Jesus.
figured out how to like gene hack these little fuckers and like
Gene
make them
hack.
live
my
longer so that way
God.
they could keep test subjects for longer.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't let the lab rats around the world, like this is an international policy, like
Yeah.
super tightly controlled and sterile unless needed for a breeding project, because if just one of those little fuckers was to get out and pass that on,
Yeah.
this world would be over.
We'd be fucked.
We'd be over.
New plague.
No, not so much a plague so much as like collapse of ecosystem due to over rat.
Mm.
Maximum over
Genetically
rat.
mutated rats
Maximum
go
rat.
AWOL. The
Oh
ratdom.
god, the ratdom.
Oh my
I don't know,
God.
man. I haven't really ever had any like crazy experiences with like rats or mice and shit. Like my brother had
Mm.
pet rats and they were sweet.
They were nice,
They were
but they
sweet little
smelled.
critters. They smelled like
That was
sin, yeah.
awful.
But
Yeah.
they were fine. But I've never had like a problem with like house mice or house rats,
Mm-hmm.
like personally.
We had barn mice, but that was it. We just ignored them. The cats took care of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one
I
of the
will
good
say,
ways to have cats.
one of the most terrifying things ever is to be, unloading bales of hay from like in the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to always check where you're throwing them because like you never know where a mouse is going to be, and there's nothing worse than picking up a bale of hay and finding a crushed mouse underneath it.
Oh.
Uh,
I found that at
Um,
construction when I was cleaning
yeah.
the garage. I just found two smashed mice. Ugh.
One of the other things that like, so do you guys know what a round hay bale is? Like do you know how
Yeah.
big they
the
are?
big circular
Yeah,
ones, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the big like they're a ton. Like they weigh a
Mm-hmm.
ton. And they're pretty big. And we had 12 horses, so more often than not, it was financially more sound to buy hay by the ton than to buy it,
Mm-hmm.
in the little square bales and dole them out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my dad would buy them multiple at a time. So at any given time, we could have anywhere between like one or two to like seven. And
Yeah.
the way that we stacked them, there was usually a gap in between, and like the dogs and the the cats and like all the animals that weren't like in pens would quite often like go in the middle of these hay bales to keep warm because hay is a fantastic insulator.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but one year we had pet turkeys as well,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the turkeys got wedged between two hay bales, and we didn't
Oh.
find out for like a couple days, and he died.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
Um,
awful.
yeah. Because the way that you have to store all hay is you have to, whether it's round or whether it's square, like you have to leave a lot of space. You can't just like stack them one, two, three, four, and then the next line right next to it, one, two, three,
Yeah.
four,
mm-hmm.
because if hay gets wet
That
and
ruins it.
it can happen, and it happens all the time. If hay gets wet, and then is stored next to more hay, which again insulates, hay can spontaneously combust.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like if there's no airflow in the hay to keep it dry, hay will get wet. It will draw moisture to the middle. It will mold, and it will just heat itself
Mm-hmm.
until it catches fire. And once that catches fire, hay is dried out. So like the rest of it's gonna catch fire. I have
Jesus.
seen
Like,
multiple hay silos explode into fire because they were improperly. And I'm not. There is no exaggeration or embellishment when I say explode into flame.
Mary,
Because
the giant penis outside's exploding again.
just because it was improperly stacked.
Yeah.
Um, so like, yeah, hay is weird, and like when I tell people sometimes that yeah, I've seen hay catch fire just because like where we work with the dirt. Like
Yeah.
I picked up a bag one like in the first week I was there. I'm like,
It
hey,
was
this is kind
hot.
of warm. Like,
Yeah.
do we need to? Because there's moisture in that too. It's not gonna catch fire. It's dirt.
Yeah.
But I was like, do we need to do anything? Like, should we air these out? And they're like, and the manager's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, these don't catch fire. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
what do you whoa, whoa, whoa.
What do
do you
you mean
mean?
catch fire?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I've seen some shit. So like,
Now, if they
I'm
were
coming from
manure, then we
yeah.
have a big issue.
Yes, I have also seen manure explode into flame.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, I've seen some weird shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, it's
Wasn't there a big like plant like oh what was it? It was like a um not a methane thing. It was like a
Ammonium
huge
nitrate
something like that exploded like a few years back.
in
Like
Texas,
a
West
big
Texas.
place. Yeah. Yeah.
So the only reason I know that is because I was literally there's a YouTube channel I watched that's all about chemistry, and
Mhm.
like he was making ammonium nitrate. I'm like, yeah, if you make it in these small amounts, like blah blah blah, but like if you're not careful and you make 800 million tons and
Yeah.
improperly store it, it explodes.
Yeah. What do you get when you don't tightly manage a factory or a warehouse or something? Oh, you get things improperly stacked. So
Things
whoops.
explode.
Whoops.
Yeah, it happened in West Texas, and then it happened in China once too, like 2015 and 2012, I want to say, like
Mm.
just whole factories completely like detonating.
Fucking
damn.
James Bond shit.
You can also do that with uh fucking hay, not hay, corn dust
Mm.
and flour mills. Flour mills are another one. Flour mills
Jesus.
can spontaneously combust because if the flour is improperly stored and particulate gets in the air and like a spark lights, so the way it works is like
Ooh.
the spark will catch particulate in the air and
Yeah.
then spread to the next bit of particulate, and if the particulate is too high it just catches forever.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
It's like
then
a cotton factory. It's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Did you see
I've
Yeah,
that
seen.
you've seen that
video?
video? Yeah,
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 yeah. I
yeah.
was about to say, did you see the video? The guy was fucking dumbass was using a lighter to cut the bags that held all the cotton,
Hmm.
and the dumbass cut the one bag, and the cotton caught on fire, and it's just ruined all of it.
Christ.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
really,
that
you're a fucking idiot.
Ah, Nala, please. No claws in my shoulder. My cat
oh
has made an
no,
appearance.
sweet girl.
Yeah, she's an asshole.
Yeah,
But she's sweet.
Yeah,
adorable.
she's a slut.
Whoa,
She's a slut and I
Whoa.
love her.
dirty
Hey,
kitty.
wait a
Dirty.
minute.
There. Damn.
And then the other one's a coward. I've got a slut and a coward.
A slut and a coward, what a pair.
Panty and
Yeah.
stocking? No.
You shut up. Don't compare my cats to an anime. I'll kill you.
Is
How
that
dare you? Stocking is not a coward. She's just a
no?
bitch.
It's just an asshole for candy.
Oh man.
Unless I'm getting them mixed up, I don't remember.
No, Panty's the slut and Stocking's the
Okay.
fucking glutton. That's the one
Yeah.
that's what you're thinking of.
Okay.
You're correct in that regard.
Oh, well, we are at an hour and 12
Oh, shit.
minutes. If y'all are ready to wrap this up, we can.
Yeah.
I am ready to wrap it up because I haven't
I'm
eaten
fine.
today, so I got to go eat something.
Yeah,
Sounds
I ate a whole
juicy.
lasagna while we were doing this.
Fuck. I didn't eat anything.
So yeah, I think we're good to go. So thank you
Alright.
everybody for stopping by again.
Go check out our
Always
social
welcome.
medias.
Yeah, everyone check out social medias. You know,
Yeah.
we're totally doing things. Totally not.
I posted to the Instagram and the Twitter today with the most recent
What
video.
did you know?
Yeah, I did. But we have
Oh.
no followers, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't exist on social media, so it's fine.
That's
But
fair.
you're still
That's
in our description, which is great. I
Yeah,
think the link to your what was it, Twitch?
yeah, that I don't use.
Yeah, there you
yeah.
go. Oh, all right.
Go ahead and wrap her up.
See you next week, boys.